And I told them I'm not bringing any raisins.
Yeah, good. We don't want raisins here. No. It's a raisin-free zone. Hey, welcome to Snackdown. I'm Justin, and this is...
Andy,
and we have a special guest today.
Hello, everyone.
This is Lev.
I'm a big fan, many times listener, first time present.
and he brought a freight train full of
Yeah, this is definitely
delicious.
This is definitely the most food we've had on this table at once.
And background, we're going to go eat after this.
Yeah.
So just a heads up on that. So I don't even know where to start.
Oh, how about this? I'll give myself a little background so we know what we're doing.
Right.
So I'm a former expatriate from the Soviet Union, or like to say my country no longer exists. Came here over 30 years ago when I was
true.
like 11 and a half, and New York City most of the time, med school in the Caribbean. Became a neurologist, ended up in central New York, and I've been here for 11 years. I love cooking. I love all kind of food. Russian cuisine, of course, is my bread and butter, pun intended.
Which we'll get into later.
Yes, which we get into later. And I've just fell in love with cooking when I was actually 12 years ago when I was in Buffalo doing a fellowship for a year. So I lived in a halfway house. I didn't have any money. So I had no choice but to learn to cook.
Right.
So I started cooking for myself. I did Asian, I did Russian, I did everything. I used to watch Yankin cook. So if you can cook, if I can cook, so can you. So that's what got me a love of cooking and everything else. And my grandmother, my mother, both of them, they were excellent cooks. My grandmother was an excellent baker, and I just fell in love with it. And I was just rediscovering for myself, learning a lot of recipes, cooking, and now I cook. I'm at home. I cook maybe 3-4 times a week, and come up with new recipes. I used to bake bread on a weekly basis. Came up a couple of my own bread recipes. I just don't have the time now. So that's how I decided that I love cooking. And everybody says, should open a restaurant. Says, no, I'm happy being a neurologist, but cooking is a hobby.
You could do a little side hustle.
Yeah, but otherwise I won't have time for sleep.
That's true. Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
How many hours a day do you sleep?
Lucky if I get 5.
Wow.
Yeah. 5 to 6. I shoot for 6 at least, but it's like 5. I'm a horrible sleeper.
Justin?
I'm a night
I'm a
owl.
horrible sleeper too.
What do you get?
What do I get? I'm in bed for like 7, but I probably get 4
I wish I had
or
7.
5.
Wow. Mine's all shot. Just
Well, you got kids.
yeah. They're like kind of a curveball, but
But there's hope for you that you'll sleep someday. There's not for us.
No, he won't. He's a father. He knows.
yeah, that's true. I'm not gonna.
And before we go any further, I want to shout out to my fiance Mel, who gave me an idea to wear my Gummy Bear t-shirt, which has a bear. I know people cannot see it in podcast land. I got a bear with a bottle of vodka, the hammer and sickle, and AK-47. Actually says Gummy Bear. And I got my Russian fur hat. I'm wearing my Russian fur hat, so I'm representing.
Yeah, he's very Russian today.
It's very Russian, and he's got an eye patch too. So it's not like he's
He's seen some action. This bear,
right?
Afghanistan vet. So.
Yeah. Wow, he's got a backstory too.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Just like D&D, you got to have a backstory.
Everyone's got to have a backstory.
So what should we start with first? Like, do you want to start with a drink or
vodka?
Yeah. So,
So basically, in Russia, every time you have you start a party, somebody has to say a toast. You drink a vodka, then you have a zakuska, which means a small bite, and you take something salty or pickly or piece of fish or small piece of meat, and you as a chaser. So I brought homemade horseradish pickles. Brand new recipe, came out pretty well. And that's a perfect chaser for the Russian standard vodka that I bought from St. Petersburg. And that's pretty much the only vodka I drink. I'm a vodka snob, plus bourbon snob.
So it's going to be good
snob.
then.
Well, you guys decide for me. That's what I love. But you guys will be the final judges.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay.
So I've never had cold vodka before.
The thing is, it's a preference. For me, I like it ice cold. It's not ice cold yet. I just brought it in, but I like mine ice cold. I think it goes down smoother.
But it's pretty cold, right?
So I guess I'll start with the first toast.
Yeah.
And we are using the Panama shot glasses from Joel. So there's vodka already in it.
That's okay. It's all good.
you're gonna get that like vodka and finger taste.
Yeah.
So in Russia, we also have to say a toast. I'm thankful I'm here with you guys. I've been excited about this for the last couple of weeks since we decided to do this.
Yeah.
Never been a podcast. I listen to them all the time, and I'm very happy to share my culture, my love for food, and good vodka. Na zdrowie.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And then you take a pickle, sniff it, break it in half, and eat it.
The sniffing is important.
Yeah.
Part of the tradition.
Justin, don't ask questions. That's good. It's just smooth. It's just like a good pickle, you know?
So is a horseradish pickle a Russian thing or a Lev thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Russian thing. I found a couple of recipes. I modified to my own. Basically, in the pickling juice, it's hot water, white vinegar, apple cider vinegar I used juniper berries, black peppercorns, dill, garlic, 2 tablespoons instead of 1. I used 1 last time of horseradish, like from a jar. And salt, less sugar because I don't like them too sweet. Put everything in the jar, close it tightly, let it cool in the fridge for a week or two or longer, and you're good to go, and they're ready to eat within a week or two.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good flavor. It's a little bit of like spice in your mouth and your throat, but
But it's not Andy unbearable.
yeah, no, Andy's not choking and dying, so
I'm not dead yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have shots of pickle juice. That's important for hangovers.
Nice. I know. So the little berries floating in there, those are the juniper berries?
Juniper berries and peppercorns.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And of course, dill. Mm-hmm. And I have like 2 main or 3 main different pickling juices that I use. Everything that I use pickling is fridge based. I don't have to worry about putting them in the cellar. And one thing I found out about pickling pickles, which is awesome, get the small ones. Either just cut the tops off or leave them as whole, because otherwise, if they stay too long in the fridge, they'll get mushy, and you don't want that.
well, they're good.
They're good. They're very
And they
good.
go well with the vodka. It's a good chaser.
Oh, yeah.
See, so in America, we drink the pickle juice and then we take a shot of.
Justin, he's been here for like many years.
That's okay. That's fine. Listen, I got a fur hat on. I can still claim fresh off the boat status. We're good.
Yeah, I was confused with the hat. No,
Dude,
I'm
we're just
saying.
like- Justin's like, where are we?
No, listen, I don't mind Justin explaining to me.
It's like winter outside. There's snow on the ground. Lev's in the hat, and I'm confused.
right.
No,
There's like stray dogs.
it's just funny because he was talking about how in Russia you drink the pickle juice to help a hangover, but in America the pickle juice goes along with creating the hangover.
like a pickleback?
Yeah, like a pickleback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a pickleback before?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's just like with like whiskey.
I never heard of it until now.
It's like whiskey, and then you chase it with a shot of pickle juice. So
Yeah.
Is it whiskey or bourbon?
I
Doesn't
think
matter.
it's just any whiskey, yeah.
Yeah, usually people do like
The
Jameson or Jack Daniels.
I'll try it next time I'm home.
Take a
Yeah.
shot and then take a shot.
Yeah, I'm adventurous. And your friend Nate gave me the idea of putting some bourbon in hot cider, and I love that.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like adding just like a little bit?
Yeah, just have a nice glass of hard cider, add a little bit of bourbon into it, comes with a very nice flavor.
It's also good to add rum to a gosa.
What was that? Did someone die upstairs?
So when it hits winter
Yeah.
and I turn on the water heating baseboards,
Yeah.
they're just like, boom.
I'll get the same thing in my house.
Yeah,
I know what it
yeah.
is.
So it sounds like Justin's stomach sometimes.
After we eat, it probably will be for all of us.
So that's a good segue into
Let's get our eat on.
let's get into some of this stuff because there's a lot to get into.
That's right. I think we should do black bread and caviar before we overpower with the meats.
What did you say?
Black bread and caviar.
Blood bread?
Black.
Oh, black bread. I was going to say, what is
Sorry.
this blood bread?
My accent comes out.
No, it's fine. I was
I
just
have to
like,
one shot of vodka.
It's the vodka.
it's the vodka.
Right.
For sure.
I was gonna say
Vitamin
blood
V.
bread. That's a
I might get like a little southern too when I drink. Kind of have like a little bit of drawl just because I was born south in the
Yeah.
Mason-Dixon line.
You all? Where were you born?
Fairfax, Virginia.
Oh, pretty cool.
Nice.
So what is in black bread?
It's a rye bread. It's made part with kvass, molasses,
Oh, nice.
and it's different. But there's bread. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it. It's called Borodino bread. Borodino is named after the famous battle during the Napoleonic Wars. That's where the last battle before Napoleon took Moscow. As far as I know, I could be just pulling this out of my you-know-what. So it's a black bread recipe, which has been standard in Soviet Union, even before the Imperial Russia. You have to make it a specific way. You cannot call Borodino bread more than anything else. So this is similar to it.
It's very dense.
Yes.
You're like, hey, can you cut the bread? And then I like picked it up. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, hey, Justin, can I get a hand over here?
Yeah. It's dense, but also very flavorful. So if you guys want to try the bread as it
standalone?
is, or my mother always says, if you want to see how the bread tastes, try it with a little bit of butter.
So put a little butter on it and then
Try a small piece, and we got plenty back in the kitchen.
Yeah. So you said there's kvass in the bread?
Yeah.
No.
And I'm sorry, I'm saying wrong. When they make kvass, they use the black
okay.
bread.
mind if
Okay.
I touch
I
your
got
bread?
confused.
Yeah, you can touch my bread.
I'll
That's
just
fine.
hand it to you.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know if you want to just use the...
It's so
Yeah.
fine, like grain wise.
Yeah, I think that's probably why
Like
it's
a
so
good
dense.
wood.
It's very aromatic. So I've had kvass before, and it definitely smells like kvass.
Yeah.
Am I saying kvass right?
Yeah, da.
Nice.
This would be good on a sandwich.
Look, the cold cuts are brought perfect with this.
You said good on a sandwich?
Yeah.
This would be
Like a
most
bread
of the
sandwich. Like this in between two pieces of bread.
There you go. A bread menage a trois.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this bread would be so good in bread. So this is with unsalted butter too.
Yeah.
Because up next we're going to have some caviar. 2 types of caviar.
Black and red.
So are these from different... These obviously must be from different fish,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, like sturgeon would be more black. Salmon, caviar is red.
So caviar is fish eggs. Correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How does one collect fish eggs? Strainer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. I don't want you having any more sleep problems.
That's okay. Vodka will help.
Yeah, vodka will erase. It'll be like the button for Men in Black, where you just like don't remember it. What's it called?
Oh yeah,
Forget Me Not?
Yeah, the whole
It's
thing.
called Forget Me Not.
No, I don't know.
Just Forget Me.
The Forget Me Not wouldn't work because then they would remember.
You're like studying for a test, and you're like, God, I need to remember that. And you're like, zzz. You're like, awesome. That was great. It was burned in my mind.
Would help me a month ago when I took my boards. I passed it, found out Friday, so
Oh, that's another cheers.
it's right. Also, we need to drink.
It's kind of worth.
Let's get some kvass going and some vodka.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So there is a way to pour and not pour a bottle. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I just poured because I want some kvass.
Okay.
So what is Kvass? Is it a soda?
It's a soda which made with malt, which made from black bread. It's like a fermented drink, but
Okay.
it's non-alcoholic.
It smells very bready.
Back in Mother Russia, to get kvass, there were big cisterns. They were selling a jug of kvass that everybody drank from the same jug, and you paid whatever you paid, and on a hot day you had a shot of kvass, a big jug. Everybody drank from the same one, and people stood in lines to get some, or it came bottled.
It's definitely got a little bit of a root beer flavor.
Yes.
Right? But it's definitely more bready than that.
Yeah, like a wheat root beer.
Like a wheat root beer.
And this kvass called monastery kvass, and let me see where
It's definitely not as sweet as root beer, because root beer can be pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, it's mild.
Yeah, but it's made from Ukraine,
Oh, nice.
which is, Ukrainian and Russians, there are a lot of similarities. Don't say it now because they're still at war.
Yeah.
But for me, as an expatriate from Soviet Union, I think I'm a Jew, so it's a whole separate ballgame. But I identify...
So that's the base identity, right?
Yeah, and then I go more Russian than Ukrainian. That's what I identify, because I speak very few words in Ukrainian. I'm fluent in Russian. Just don't ask me to read and write. But at the same time, I think I identify or as a Russian Jew if anybody asks. So that's what I identify myself. But the food is very similar.
And that bread was good.
Yeah.
I would eat more, but there's so much more to eat, so...
Well, that's why you combine the bread and the caviar and the fish and the kolkats. So you have bread with other stuff.
So let's do it. You want to do some...
Caviar?
Yeah.
Let's do some caviar.
So with caviar, with the bread, if you like, you can put it a little bit butter and then the caviar, or just bread and the caviar without any butter. It's up to you. Traditionally, want to do the butter.
Then I was going to say no.
But you can try both. You can try
yeah.
a piece of bread to half and a half.
Here,
Can I have that knife? So caviar is traditionally eaten with something like bread. You're not just scooping caviar.
Or you can do crackers,
Okay.
anything kind of bread, or you can put on top of the salads. When I grew up, caviar was considered to be a delicacy. Now, in any Russian store, you can get some.
this is exciting. I don't think I've ever done a comparing caviar before. So I asked you about how to pour, right? Because you and I have shaken hands before? Shook hands?
Yes.
Whatever. Tomato.
Shaken, not stirred.
We've shaken and not stirred hands. I don't know how you would stir.
A new handshake, everyone.
You can do it. It's a new exam. You check the muscles. Yeah, you can.
So that's true. You could technically do that. So we've shaken hands before, and it's been in a threshold, and you're like, let's step out of the threshold. Is that a Russian thing?
What, to pour properly or shake hands?
The shake hands thing, not in a threshold.
Oh, it's one of the superstitions many I have.
Okay.
Just like I just put a knife on your plate, I would not hand it back, give you the knife so it's not a handoff, because it's part of superstition when we get in the fight.
I was going to say that's a safety thing almost, right?
That too.
Yeah.
Because blade and
like a
handle
Boy Scout
first.
thing. Yeah.
And at home with my fiance, every time there's a sharp object between us, gotta put it down, pick it up, others will get in a fight. Unfortunately, the poor love of my life has been subjected to my superstitions for the last 7+ years. And there are plenty, trust me.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if that was like a Russian thing.
It's a Russian, it could be Russian and Russian Jewish thing.
So does
Okay.
conspiracy theories fall into suspicions?
Oh, hell yeah. Russians are big in conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Come on, we had a oppressive government for 70+ years, and before
true.
that was the Tsars. Same thing. Of course, we're a big conspiracy theory. Listen, and whatever they say in the news about the Russians and Ukrainians, a lot of it's accurate, especially
Wow.
corruption.
Wow, that's
Both
rough.
countries.
Yeah.
And honestly, as a Jew, a lot of anti-Semitism in both countries. Can't stand both of them. I love the culture. People are very nice, but that small aspect in both countries that really bring back the old anti-Semitic tropes, they're still there. Like in my hometown, there's a Holocaust museum. A couple of streets down, there's a street named after a Ukrainian folk hero who was also a big Nazi collaborator and killed a lot of Jews in the war. And
And they're kind of just hanging on to that, or
At least it wasn't on that street.
no, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. It was like 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away.
So when I've interacted with the Russians in one capacity or another. So I've been told not to pour a drink or a bottle like this.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
Because
My
it's-
mother always told me that, and I always screwed up. You are correct.
Because it was embalming fluid. Like that's how people used to pour embalming fluid. That's what I heard.
I didn't hear that, but she always said you don't pour
Yeah.
away from yourself.
It's kind of like it's always
Yeah.
hand over top.
My mother always said that. I never asked her why. I just okay, fuck. Pardon my friend. Oops, sorry. She
No, you're
keeps snagging. So
Yeah.
So
So
that's
pour
why.
towards you? So it's the opposite of cutting.
So you
like
wanna-
with a knife?
So
You cut away from
You want to pour like this.
You don't pour away from yourself.
So you
That would be
cut
what we
away
do.
from yourself and you pour towards yourself. Yeah. Basic.
So knife away, drink in.
Yeah.
That seems
That
reasonable.
makes a
Danger away.
ton of sense. Fun time in.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get some caviar in this bread.
Okay, so basically,
So we're going to start with the red.
I would start with red first.
So where does the red caviar come from? What kind of fish?
Salmon.
What a fun color for your eggs to look like. It's like a little orange.
Justin, if you had to pick your egg color, what would it
Oh, that's a new guest question. If you had to pick your egg color. Mine would be, I think, like a slate gray.
for real?
Yeah.
I would do kind of one of those like carbon fiber sort of looks. You know what I mean?
On an egg. Caviar or any egg?
humans
like
had
my,
eggs.
like my own egg. Like that was the
That you would
question.
hatch from?
Yeah.
Or I would like
If Annie was laying eggs.
Gunmetal. For me.
Gunmetal.
gunmetal. Nice.
So now we know all our egg colors.
There we go.
Glad we got.
We got that out of the way.
Yeah.
So, and then
Give it a whirl.
dig in.
I feel like that's one of those like personality test questions, to like figure out what
Are
like,
we compatible? No. Oh no.
like
Just like who you are.
Myers-Briggs. What color are your eggs?
I'm an ENFP gunmetal.
Got a lot of smell.
This is delicious and the
Salty.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see the fish has a light, salty flavor, and the butter and the bread bring it out. That's why I asked for unsalted butter. Because otherwise, too much salt would
Yeah.
ruin the flavor. And any bread is a perfect vehicle for the caviar, but for me, I prefer black bread, not blood. That was my accent.
This is good. We have a shot waiting for us, guys.
That's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. So I said a toast last time, so it's your turn. It's also customary to make turns. Andy, tag you're it.
Here's to friends and trying a ton of new food.
That's right.
Friends and food,
Cheers.
some of the most
Right.
important things in the world.
Cheers. That's one thing brought us together here is love for food and friends.
Yeah.
So what,
Now,
what
can
you
I
guys' opinion on the vodka?
It's good.
Can I chase that with this? Is
Heck yeah.
All right.
Anything salty.
The vodka is smooth.
I went to play. I used to be a Grey Goose lover, but I started trying this, and that's the only vodka I have in my freezer.
So have you ever had some Japanese vodka?
Oh, heck yeah. I try anything.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Because I've been drinking that a lot at Wayne's, and so I had some last night, and it's so different. I haven't had like straight vodka, normal vodka, since I've been drinking that. It's so different.
And I love, like, Japanese, they make good whiskeys. I love sake.
I did have sake the other day. I had some Sudafed, and then
That's
some
a nice
sake,
combo.
and it didn't mix very well.
You had pseudo sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or fake sake.
Sake fed?
Sake fat. Yes.
When I went to drink this Kvass, when you chip it up to your nose, it kind of almost smells like you're about to drink a beer, and then it's like
And then it like
soda.
hits you. You're like beer, root beer?
This is what you get your kids when you're like drinking beer, and they're like, "Daddy, I want some," and you're like,
Isn't it kind of considered like kids' beer?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
"Yeah."
I got in trouble in school like that once back home in Russia. My mother came, she went, I think, vacation in Bulgaria, and she bought some kind of non-alcoholic cider. So she named it Kids Champagne. And I mentioned that in school, and that was mentioned to her during a parent-teacher conference. So it was a joke.
CPS was totally on
No,
that.
it's Kvass. Look, it's non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
I know a doctor. He said so. He'll give me a note.
That's true.
Can I please have some more Kvass?
Yes, absolutely. Kellen's going to want to try some when she stops in.
Oh, yeah, we got to leave some for your wife. Otherwise it
So
won't be
let's
fair.
try some more.
First, we need more bread.
Yes, we need some more bread.
I'm on
You got it?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so we can, after that, we go to black caviar, then we'll do the fish, and then we'll finish with the meat and potatoes.
Nice.
Perfect finish. I think at the same time, the reason I'm following this direction is because if we do the potatoes first, there's plenty of garlic there, and the meats, that's kind of overpower the fish.
Man, this caviar, it's like thousands of little blackberries.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Got kind of like a sardine kind of taste and smell.
Really good call on using butter, but also unsalted butter.
This is a little bit more subtle.
And you can see the different flavor between black and red caviar.
It's very good. It's definitely really, really good with the bread and the butter. But it does have it reminds me of sardines, but you take out like the bony fish kind of taste. I'm not a huge fan of sardines. I've tried because I love, seafood and stuff. I'm like, oh, sardines would be a good snack. And I've tried and I don't know, something about it, texture of fish.
Well, for me, I love sardines, and there's also sprouts. If we didn't have the smoked mackerel, I would have brought the sprouts, which are also made from Lithuania, from the Baltic Sea region, and that's also traditional. All you need to do is open the can, drain a little bit of oil, squeeze out a little bit of fresh lemon juice, and they're good to go on the black bread or anything. Perfect appetizer.
Interesting. So, those frozen yogurt places where you pay per pound
Yeah.
for the cups?
Yeah.
What are those little things? They're not tapioca balls.
I know what you're talking about.
that
bubble
burst.
tea, like in the bubble tea.
Yes,
But they're not-
they
they're not
burst them.
tapioca.
Yeah, I know it. That's the red, right?
Yeah,
the red
they-
caviar. I
yeah.
know. I was trying to think of the word, and I'm like,
I can't
crap,
think of what it is.
It starts with like a B, I think, though.
But the
Bubbles?
black ones were similar to that too.
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Yeah, I know. God,
I have to look it up because
You're like, that has 3 B's.
that reminded me of it so much. Boba?
Yeah, the red tastes like boba because
Yeah.
it's just like
Boba
so.
Fett?
Yeah,
Boba Fett. Where's Boba Fett?
Bursting Bobas.
You know what he's talking about though.
No.
So boba is like, it kind of looks like a tapioca ball, but it's like it has like a thin membrane, and you bite in it, it bursts with like.
Okay, cool.
You barely have to. It has the exact same consistency as the red caviar. Like it just bursts so easily.
Except no fish died for the boba.
Except
Yeah, just
no
like little
fish.
tiny water.
I don't actually. I don't
water.
know. Maybe a fish died for the boba.
Little tiny sweet edible water balloons.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think the black ones were similar. They were just so small.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like kind of hang out and burst them. Were you
No.
just bursting them
I burst a couple.
like bubble?
Yeah,
Like,
little black bubas.
like bubbas?
Was it bubba?
Bobas. No, boba.
Okay, yeah.
But did you?
We'll call
did
them the fats.
the fats. Like bubble wrap. What's the word?
Yeah, bubble wrap.
Yeah. So you were just having like a little bubble wrap party, like a little popping party in your mouth.
Yeah.
They're like Pop Rocks.
Like pop
Rocks,
rocks,
yeah.
Manual pop rocks.
Caviar
those are,
Pop
Those are
Rocks.
automatic.
You work for them.
When back in my day, we had to pop our own rocks. Okay, I'm sorry. So what are we doing now?
Let's get into this fish. We got a little.
Oh, yeah.
We got
Yeah,
some,
so now that we have smoked mackerel,
So we got
and
smoked
this
mackerel.
fish is good as it is, or you can actually fry it up a little bit in a skillet. Just cover the skillet, otherwise the whole house will smell.
So is there any bone in this?
Yes.
There's some bone, but is edible bone?
No, you want to take it apart.
Okay.
And this is by far smoked fish, or any kind of cold or hot smoked fish is also a big delicacy in Russian. And as part of my culture, or actually more like Moldovan and Romanian culture, there's a thing called mamaliga, which is similar to Italians called polenta. And you make it's a corn dish. It's a cornmeal that you make it in a big, like a loaf, and you eat it with fried mackerel, with feta cheese, with sour cream. I remember my grandmother was making this about once a month, and I still do it myself occasionally. And I find this mackerel, I fry it up lightly, eat it with sour cream, with feta cheese, with garlic. That's part of the whole, like a big meal. That's like a Sunday thing.
Wow, this is very good.
I knew it was going to be good because it's so oily, and oiliness like really uptakes with smoking it. You know what I mean?
It almost tastes like a sausage or a pork to me.
What?
I would say consistency.
Doesn't it?
Justin, no.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me try it again.
For me, it takes fish.
Yes, it does. This is fantastic.
I gotta admit, so in preparation for this episode, I had a little smoked rainbow trout this morning on a bagel on butter.
Oh, that
You
sounds
and your
good.
fish, morning fish.
First of all, excuse me.
I agree with Andy.
See,
true.
yeah, I was
For
gonna say.
breakfast, smoked
Yeah, I
fish
was
is
gonna say.
awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do
I'll
you
be
see
back.
this
Paper
aggression
towels.
that Justin's doing? I mean, this is like a weekly thing, and he just mostly edits it out. So it's the vodka. Very aggressive.
You don't taste the pork?
No, it doesn't taste porky at all, there, bud.
It's like a
I
good
just-
sausage, like a soggy sausage.
if you ever tell anyone that they're like, "Oh, thanks for the soggy sausage," I don't think that's a compliment. This
Yeah.
is so good, though.
Yeah, and
It's got great flavor. So do they flavor it with something? Like what is it?
I think they just cold smoke it, and it's just fish.
And that's what the fish tastes
Yeah.
like? Mackerel?
Yeah.
Man, I got
As far as I know.
mackerel.
Well, it's nowhere to go. Polonais sells it,
Yeah.
and it's basically looks specifically for the company that makes it. It's the Haifa company, the base of Jamaica, Queens. Mm-hmm. I had them before. That's why I was excited last time we were there that I saw it, and it says I know that was good quality.
Whoa, how'd you clean that? Oh my gosh, guys! I'm like,
Teeth. God gave you
okay.
teeth.
Have you ever eaten corn on the cob? It's the same thing.
Yeah, teeth and fingers.
Yeah, but all these bones, guys.
Oh, you just eat around them and spit them out.
We're just kind of waiting for Andy to eat that.
No. Keep going on. That's fine. I'll just pick at this towards the end. How's that sound?
No, you finish eating. In the meantime, I can pour some vodka.
That's very true.
So yeah, if you like pork but don't like fish, try some mackerel.
Smoked mackerel.
It was very subjective.
Holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel, this tastes like pork. So what's next?
I was gonna say
We're gonna
yeah.
go potatoes or meat.
I think we should do the meat and then finish up with the potatoes.
Finish out with the potatoes. Cool.
Okay.
So we got a couple meats here on a plate. There are 3 different kinds. So
Yes, let me do the description.
Yeah.
So these meats are from a Serbian or former Yugoslavian store in New York City, Australia. My mother got me introduced to them, and it's my favorite food. They deliver.
Yes.
So the one thing that looks like the Polish kielbasa, it translates to the way the name is, it's like unrivaled. And when you try it, it is. And it's one of the best. It's much better than beats anything here in town. Even a couple of people in my office of Polish descent tried it. Said this is the best thing I ever had. Then the darker, that's the pork neck, been smoked, cold smoked. And this is their version of salami, their signature salami, which is also to die for.
Pork neck. Never had that before.
And,
so what should we try first?
I would say go with the kielbasa, then the salami, and then the pork neck last.
Okay, we're going to end with the pork neck. So
And I would put it on top of the bread, or as is.
This is amazing.
Yeah. And you can order from there. Like for 2 days shipping, it was an extra $10. And you can go on their website, you can fax them the order, and it's great. And when you go there, when you go in the store, you have just the smell of smoked meat hits you. And above the store, you can see how it's. You can see all the meat hanging, and you can try anything you want. Quality is great. They do a lot. They do that themselves. It's not like they buy from somewhere else. So, but they have 2 stores in Queens, one in Astoria and one in Ridgewood, and by far the quality is the best I've ever had.
Do they smoke it on site, or is it like kind of near, or
Probably near, because they have 2 different stores. Maybe they do it in the back, similar. And these kind of cold cuts are very similar to stuff I get at the Russian store. So I figured it will be nice but much better
so
supplement.
that sausage was just like
So before we continue,
Yes.
do we want to do a shot?
Oh, your time to toast.
Yeah, it's my time to toast. So my toast is, me and Andy have been doing this for 7 months now. So about 7 months ago, we were eating our own little smoked meats thing for episode 2. And who knew, we didn't know 7 months ago that we would be here doing
Today.
this still, meeting new people and eating Russian food and all the things that we're doing. So
Yeah, Friday, highlight my Friday before work. When I drive to work, I listen to the Snackdown.
yeah,
that's awesome.
cheers to
Cheers
growth.
to Fridays.
That's right.
Cheers to Fridays. Yeah.
L'chaim. Cheers to Snackdown.
yeah,
Snackdown. That's so good.
yeah, it's good.
So what is this?
This is their signature beef pork salami.
The cut is so weird. It's very like a cloud.
Yeah.
Like, what's Justin thinking about? Oh, meat again.
Meat.
So when you lay in
so
a
good.
field and stare up and look at the clouds, like, what does that
No, I
look
sent
like?
you the link to their store. When you order, they actually have pictures, so you know what you're ordering.
This is so good.
This is so good. I want this in a sandwich also.
Yeah.
You're like, first step, bread, then this meat, then another bread, then another bread.
And I've been eating, since I got these meats for the last 3 days, I've been eating them nonstop. Because I don't want to go to
God.
waste.
No, of course not.
They're pricey, but they're well worth it.
Yeah.
Did you get the pastrami from there too?
No. Pastrami only get from... They have their own pastrami. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
Next time.
That was so good. Like the
That was I'm gonna have another one actually. Just
go ahead.
so the
That's what I'm
kielbasa and the salami are just so smooth. You know,
Smooth and not overpowering.
they're not overpowering.
Yeah, the
And-
pork neck is a little bit overpowering, but I didn't realize that's what I ordered, but I still liked it.
yeah,
But
it's got a good amount of saltiness too, not too salty, but just like an even amount. Mm-hmm. Now, pork neck is very dark purple, and it kind of looks like almost like a jerky.
yeah,
So none of these
interesting.
pork neck, none of them had neck tattoos.
let's hope not.
It said like goon.
Oh, did you hear in Italy? Wild boars ate a whole bunch of cocaine.
Where
Yeah,
in
true
Italy?
story. In Italy, police caught a conversation on. They recorded a conversation of 2 Albanians and Italian complaining that they hid a whole bunch of cocaine in the forest, and wild boars found it and ate it all.
Oh my god!
Like a lot of cocaine. So there's a lot of frisky, high as a kite cocaines in Italy, reproducing more than usual because they're high in cocaine. I'm not kidding you. Check online.
But those boars were like very productive for like a good 24 hours.
Let's hope nobody had a heart attack. Then again, you get cocaine flavored bacon.
What's cocaine taste like?
I have no idea.
That was a trick question. Love's like,
Never
I'm
had
not
that
answering that, narc.
Am I being detained?
Yeah. Fellas? Yep, right here. You know, guy with the hat. Guy with
7 months of work, guys, and we got him.
yeah.
So this pork neck kind of smells like
Awesome.
Just like a cigar.
Speaking of cocaine,
Yeah. Hey, why don't you roll that like a joint? Just-
roll for initiative.
yeah.
so. This pork neck kind of reminds me of leather almost, like a leather smell.
Yeah.
Like so my mom used to board her horses at barns, and so when you would go into the barn, like it's called the tack room. It's got all the
You don't have to use it in quotes. It's just a.
you know what a tack room is?
Yeah,
It's got
yeah.
all the like a horse equipment
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, yeah.
This is what it reminds me of. Give it a
Really?
good sniff.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Let me just.
A little bit of tack room.
I was gonna say.
I was grabbed that fork that was in the potatoes. So
Are you saying attack room? Like attack? Yeah. Yeah.
Stephen Colbert was in the Russian talk show, which is number 1 in the country. I sent it to you. There, he's freaking hilarious. If you want to intro to Russians and vodka, that's a perfect. He's funny, and the way they're doing the vodka Russian roulette, you got to see that. Basically, with the Russian vodka roulette, there's no blanks. All of them are vodka.
So are we
just
doing this
varying levels
vodka?
of-
We've come back around to Lev.
Yeah, of course. I guess I I'm saying a toast to my significant other and to your wife who we'll meet soon, because they're definitely our yings to our yangs, or the other better halves, and Justin hopefully find one sooner than later. No, but the thing is, the great support is at home. Like I said, Justin said he barely met your wife because she was over taking care of the kids. Same thing. My fiance, she's my better half, really. And every time I show everybody the picture, everybody says I got lucky. I says, yeah, she's out of my league. And
but she got lucky. She got lucky too.
She knows it, but I got more lucky. I got more lucky.
When you went on your first date, did you wear that hat?
No.
What was your first date like?
We went to Ithaca. She grew up in Phelps, but in Ithaca she spent a lot of her childhood, so she chose kind of area familiar to her. And she comes in. There's a guy there walking 3 giant Rottweilers. She's walking with him. Says so. He kind of does the handoff. And I said, "Do you know this guy?" Says, "No." She was nervous. She asked him to escort him to the front of the library in Ithaca. We still remembering that we call it deconstructed Cerberus. She was just so nervous meeting me for the first time. And then we met around 3:30. By the time our date ended, it was like 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Yeah, that was our first date. We started we saw each other every weekend for the next 3 or 4 months. We went to Maine for our first month anniversary together.
Wow.
She hasn't killed me, and we've been together for more than 7 years.
That's the sign of a good relationship. No one's dead.
I was gonna say, like a 1 month sort of thing to go to Maine together. That's like.
Well, it was a whole family affair, but nobody could make it, so her mother got us the house, and her and I just went.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
wow.
cool.
Because I feel like you've been dating a month and you go on like a weekend. A lot of time it ends with like, this was the bad choice.
Yeah.
No, but like it was just like...
No, that was completely opposite.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, we did put a raccoon into a coma. We made extra large s'mores. We couldn't finish them and threw them out. The next day we saw those extra large s'mores in the garbage can outside, all splattered in the back of the house.
So is it a diabetic coma?
So we figured we put a raccoon in a diabetic coma. It's been an ongoing joke every time you see s'mores in the store since we started dating.
Well, cheers. Here's to the compliments and the yin to the yang,
That's
right?
L'chaim.
So we're going to dinner after that?
I don't, honestly.
No, we can. Oh,
yeah, we can. I have no problem eating. I know what I'm going to take home.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have soup, and it'll be nice. Finish the dinner.
Yeah,
just no more booze.
No more booze. Yeah.
The second to last dish are called potatoes in uniform, which is my favorite traditional dish.
They look
and
really great.
Actually, I sent you the article earlier today. Potatoes are like second bread for Russians. And they were brought from Holland to Russia by Peter the Great. And they didn't want to do it because the peasants, they said, what the hell is this? What the hell were you sending this to? They call it the devil's apple because it was foreign. And at one point...
Can you imagine biting into what you thought was an apple and it's a potato?
Yeah. So the way that...
What the devil is this?
The way that he introduced potatoes, because they're so resilient into Russian culture, that the military guard them, but not too well. So the peasants thought, hey, they're guarding them, must be important. So they kept stealing it. And at one point, it was mandated by one of the czars to be a food staple. So there was some rebellion about it, but it became gradually, over the centuries, as a basic Russian staple. No matter where you go, there'll be some potato dish. And so that's why potatoes in uniform, or kartoshka v mundiri, means like the similar, like potatoes are kind of a little bit signify people in uniform. At the same time, they're in uniform because they have the skin on. And this works well with baby or young potatoes because you don't have to peel them because it's a pain about to do it.
And this is your homegrown garlic, correct?
Homegrown garlic, dill was from the store, potatoes from the store, and a little bit of unrefined sunflower oil. Sunflower oil came originally discovered also during the Cyrus times from the Kuban region, which is north of the Black Sea. And there's a lot of sunflowers there. They realized how to refine it. And I think in the early 19th century, if I got my numbers right, they actually tried to refine it even more so it's closer to extra virgin olive oil. And I also I brought 2 types of extra virgin olive oil. This is unrefined and this is refined. So refined is good for cooking because it has less of a sunflower taste, but perfect for cooking. But unrefined is perfect for seasoning, like salads, things like that. So I use the unrefined sunflower oil for these potatoes. So guys, dig in.
Let's do it.
These kind of look like salt potatoes. I know they're not, but it's
very
fitting
similar
to be in Syracuse here.
The dill is really, really nice.
And I got critique before, too much dill, so I didn't do too much dill in this one, so it's perfect.
They're perfectly done. Not too overdone, not underdone. They're just...
And you got the garlic, it's not too much. And you can taste the sunflower in these.
These are great.
This is one of my favorite dishes from my childhood, so I decided it's easy to make it fresh, and...
This is so good.
Because I love to cook. Between that and the pickles, I brought 2 things that I made myself.
So this recipe is good?
Yeah.
You did a really good job with the potatoes. You know what I mean? Like, especially the potatoes. It's so easy to screw up potatoes.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's a funny potato story.
Shoot.
So I was trying to whip up a date. So I was
What?
Whip up? No, that's a bad way to say. I wasn't whipping a date. I was.
Depends on the podcast.
Holy shit.
You're trying to whip a potato dish to impress a date.
Yes, I was whipping up a dinner.
What was the safe word?
Potato.
That's the story. That was the safe word. No, I was whipping up a dinner and I was gonna make mashed potatoes, right? Mm-hmm. And the best way, you're like softening them up before you mash them.
Yeah, of course.
It's better to like cut it up, so it like it softens quicker. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do that. I just had like 2 or 3 whole potatoes in there. And then I was like mashing and mashing, and it was like
upper strength.
Yeah, it was like took forever, and I was like, "This is the worst." And then she was like, "You could have just cut it up." I'm like, I didn't even think about that. I was just like, "Oh, I hate making mashed potatoes. It's taking forever."
No, I love potatoes. I always look for a new potato dish.
So Justin was whipping his date.
No, whipping the potatoes. Don't start any rumors. It's going to live on on the internet. Don't give them bad rap.
Potato.
Although there are people for that too.
This is a pretty woke culture. I think people would give you a good rap on that.
Good rap or a good whip?
A good rap on it, like a rap of almost like a whip.
So, do we want to take a break?
Yeah.
Clear some of this food and get a dessert?
We gotta boil some tea.
We're gonna make some tea and have a little bit of a Russian dessert, kind of.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll wrap it up.
And we'll wrap it up.
Justin, you want to throw a little Russian music in there?
I have a kazoo.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right, so we'll be back in a sec.
We'll be back in a sec. All right. We're.
I thought you were saying and we're.
No, I was saying
Andy. Okay.
Hey, we're back.
And now we're having tea.
Yeah. So, what kind of tea is this, Lev?
This is tea. Silent tea. It's a company Tsar Nicholas II. This is a regular black tea. I figured instead of doing some other flavors, just to bring the black tea. It's not actually from Russia. It's from India, but it's Tsar Nicholas II tea. And in Russian culture, teas are almost as important as vodka and potatoes. So everybody has
That's
tea.
high praise.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody has tea. Winter, summer, morning, breakfast, lunch. You can have tea with almost every meal.
Well, it's cold there all the time, so tea is.
Right? Not necessarily. Even in the southern parts of Russia or former Soviet Union, tea is very important. Also, like in the Caucasus regions, where those people, they know their meat, they know their rice. The former Uzbekistan and Georgia republics, tea is very important. A lot of times they serve you bread and salt and tea in a small round dishes to drink as a beginning. You even have it before dinner. That's how much tea is an important part of the Russian culture.
So I've had black tea before. What's the difference between your standard black tea?
They're all similar.
They're all similar?
Yeah. They're all similar. And the only reason I got this tea because I had a picture of Tsar Nicholas II. So.
So it's better.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to BS you.
No, it's awesome.
So then we got what looks like little pretzel donut holes.
Bagels.
Yes, bagels. In Mother Russia, they call them sushki, which means sushki means like the dried. So it's like sweet dough, pretty hard, pretty dry, with a little bit of vanilla extract. And this was made in Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. It's been in the news all the time lately. And that's one of the favorite pastimes desserts in Russia, besides the cakes. If we were in New York City, I would have brought some Russian desserts, but here, fresh is an issue. So I decided to do this tradition with the tea. And the best way to eat it, either eat it as there is, or you dip it in the tea, soak it a little bit, and then you eat it that way. Because it makes it soft a little.
Look exactly like mini plain bagels.
Yes.
Like the size of Oreos.
Yes.
There's no smell.
It's got a very wheat, like very...
Kvass smelling?
No, definitely not kvass.
No.
Not kvass, but it's grainy, I guess. We'll just do a general grainy thing.
I'm going to go straight and then I'm going to go dipped.
Yes. Crunchy, as you can all hear.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
It's a nice dessert, perfect with tea, and it's a nice after dinner dessert.
It's subtle enough that I could eat like too many of these.
That's the problem.
Trying to pick up on the flavor. Not like sesame.
Yeah, you know what? The one I bought doesn't have much vanilla flavor. Some of them do. But it's very similar to Russian dessert. I have multiple flavors of these.
I really liked it dipped in the tea.
Yeah, that's the best way. It makes it a bit soft. You get a little bit of flavor of the tea.
Soft.
And then the sweetness a little bit comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, so I didn't know tea was a Russian tradition, kind of like drinking tea all the time.
It's very standard.
Like tea.
Tea might not be Russian initially because
they
imported from India. Mm-hmm. centuries ago, but by far tea is very traditional in Russian. It can be with every meal.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, England, they're very well known for, like, their tea times and all that, but I've never thought of Russia as, like, a tea country, but...
Well, I don't think it's, like, portrayed necessarily in, like, American...
Cinema.
American cinema.
Vodka, yes. Tea, no.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. Vodka, potatoes,
It's all
yes.
cliches.
And corruption.
So here's the thing, like, is hot vodka a thing?
No.
Isn't that a foreigner
It's been solved now.
Listen.
The mystery's been solved.
Yeah. Room temperature vodka, if you have no other options. Cold or frozen vodka, that's the only way to go.
Well, now we know.
You're just going to have that...
For that, you're liable to go to Russian jail. And they're not fun.
You know why I pulled you over? Well, there's other reasons that's the scenario.
So, like, the biggest one was because the vodka that's in your cup holder, in your car, is hot.
Okay, I got a
Your
Russian...
vodka's in a thermos.
I got a Russian vodka joke. So a drunk is standing in front of the light post, knocking at it. Honey, open up. Honey, open up. So the cop comes in. Sir, are you okay? My wife is not opening the door. So he said, why don't you breathe on me? So the guy breathes on the cop. The cop takes a whip, says, ma'am, can you please open the door?
Nice.
Yeah, you got to have a podcast about Russian. You got to have at least one Russian joke. We got plenty. A lot of them are inappropriate.
Well, should we wrap this thing up?
I think so.
There's a lot of food to wrap up.
Oh, yeah.
So-
We're going to try the pickle juice before we go.
Oh, we're going to
Then
drink
finish
some
with
pickle
tea.
juice to
Yeah.
help with our hangovers.
That's right.
Now, do we eat what is it, pickle seeds? What are these?
No, this is
obviously
juniper
not
berries.
pickle
You need
seeds.
those. You don't have to drink all of it, just a couple of sips for tradition.
Justin, what's a pickle seed?
Well, there's fennel seeds and dill pickle seeds aren't here.
Oh, see, I have no
Yeah, so he's not off the track. Cheers. Since we're done.
So do
with
we
vodka.
drink the juniper berries?
No, just
Okay, you just like
for
strain it through your
Yeah.
teeth
Kind of
Yeah,
do
like a bite.
like a baleen whale, right? Is it a baleen whale?
Yeah, we talked about that already.
Oh, this is good.
All right, let's do it.
Woo!
That is good,
Yeah, and you can taste the horseradish there.
and it's like not super overpowering.
It's strange to not come after some strong shot.
Yeah, and not only
Yes.
that this is the double the horseradish added for this recipe compared to last time.
It's very good. So we ate a lot of food today.
Yeah.
We're not going to pick favorites because it was all absolutely delicious.
I couldn't
Yeah,
honestly.
I couldn't. It was
And
very
this is
good.
just a small part of Russian food, but
Yeah.
I think I hit all the basics.
Yeah, you hit a lot of things that I
Except
haven't
pork
tried
fat.
a lot of it.
Except what?
Pork fat, sala, which is pure pork fat that you eat on the black bread.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be next time.
I'm not a fan of it, but I'll bring it next time.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the pork fish. Just kidding.
We won't hold it against them. He's new at
We
this.
can't.
But yeah,
don't
it was
have to
all
agree
great.
with you.
It was all delicious.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Lev, thank you for all the
I had a
things
blast.
that you brought. Yeah.
And I keep enjoying your podcast. And once I hear the finished version, it'll be interesting how much makes into it.
It's true. That will be like a behind the curtain sort of thing.
Now I can see behind the curtain.
Mhm. The Iron Curtain, possibly.
There we go.
All right.
Oh.
So Russian.
Yeah.
It was kind of a
That was a good one.
cold.
Now there's been 2 Russian jokes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it was more of a pun than a joke proper, I guess.
I'm allowed 1 pound a week in my house.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't want to use them as a punishment.
That's a pun. Oh, I get it. All right. I'm sorry. Slow on the uptake.
Okay.
So this was good. It was
Yeah.
just fantastic. So you want to do a recap at least as to what we had,
Yeah.
Justin?
Yeah, so we started with pickles.
Yes.
No. We started with vodka.
Vodka.
Start with
and pickles.
vodka.
Vodka. and pickles.
Then we had pickles.
Yes.
And then we had vodka. Then we had black bread,
Yes.
some butter.
Yes.
And then we had some caviar.
Red
and
caviar?
Red caviar, black caviar, mackerel. And then we had some vodka.
And some more vodka.
So, by the way, so the black caviar said pike.
It's pikefish.
It's pikefish, yeah.
Nice.
Those things have really nasty teeth.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But it tastes good.
And then
But
we
it tastes
moved
right.
on to some potatoes. No, we moved on to some meats.
Yeah,
right?
we did the version of kielbasa. We did salami and the pork neck.
Pork neck. And then we moved on to some garlic and dill.
Potatoes in
Potato.
uniform, made by yours truly. And
which
then
was, again, so
Fantastic.
how long did you cook the potatoes for on that?
Oh, they're
about half
perfectly
an hour or
done.
less. I just kept poking the fork, make sure they were done.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I just boiled them some boiling water, salt, a couple of bay leaves, and that's it. Yeah, and then season them with unrefined sunflower oil, a little bit more salt, black pepper, and garlic and dill, and you're good to go. And the key part is what I learned from one of the videos that I watch. When you cut up the dill, you want to include the stems because there's a lot of flavor there.
And certainly, like, that's not true with every herb.
No.
So that's I didn't know that.
And then we took a break. Now we're drinking some tea and eating some, what are these again?
Sushki.
Sushki. Mini bagels.
That's right.
Vanilla bagels.
Vanilla bagel.
And don't forget we had plenty of kvass.
Yes, and
We
the
had plenty of
kvass.
kvass.
And pickle juice.
They're like
some
a
pickle
beer
juice.
soda and some pickle juice, and it's all been delicious. And we were whisked away to Russia. And Lev wore his fur hat almost the entire time.
Yeah.
And I...
It got warm.
And my what do you call it? Commie bear t-shirt.
Yeah.
I wonder if I like requested that at a Build-A-Bear workshop, like how they would...
Actually, one of the people
I
who
want
listened
the
to
communist bear.
Yeah, one people listen to the radio. He came up with his characters. He made t-shirts, so I bought it. So this may be trademark.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, Lev, for coming on.
Oh, I loved it. A great time.
Okay, cool. You want to read us out? Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks for listening today. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can find this episode and others like it on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of other places. And you can go to our website at www.snackdownpod.com.
Das Vidania. Nice.
Nice. Goodbye.
The Shire.
In from Middle Earth.
I don't know. Yeah. Second drinkses? 11sies?